Hello, my name is Viharaa Jayasinghe and this is the fifth episode of the e-commerce web application project, and this video mainly focuses on the forgot password add-on in the sign-in process. So let's go to our Google Chrome. So we can see my web application. So here we are on the registration page. So as we are looking for the forgot password add-on, we have been in the sign-in page. So if you are a new user, you have to create your account and sign up. So I will use an email address which is in the database, and I will click forgot password, and then an alert will come as I have received an verification code and to check my email. So let's see verification code. Let's copy and paste it over here and type our new password. So let's see our existing password. This is our existing password. I will use some letters as my new password. So if you want to see our password in the text format, I mean in the text version, here we see in the password version. So we see dots. So let's see this, and likewise we can show it and hide it. And let's hit listen. So we will get an alert as our process of updating our new password is successful. So let's click OK and let's see our database. So let's see when we refresh our database what happens. So as you can see, this is our verification code and this is our new password. And I will copy my new password and paste it. So I will sign in now. So thereby we can come to the conclusion that our process of resetting the password is successful. So let's see the programming part related to the forgot password add-on. If we are looking for the forgot password add-on, we should be concerned about the sign-in process. So this is the sign-in process, and here we are. And here's the one we are looking for. When we click this link, we activate this function, which is in the JavaScript, which has led to those pop-ups. And as you can see, I have dedicated some codings for the email and the password text fields. And as you can see, I have included an ID for the email too. So when we activate the function for forgot password in the JavaScript, here is the email that is inserted by the user using an AJAX request, and in the get method we send that email address to the forgot password process.php file. So as you can see, we are in the forgot password process.php file, and once again we have used the connection.php file so we can maintain the connection between the database. And these are some files that we have used for the email purpose, so we can send our verification code to that user. So these are the files. And if we come to our password process.php file once again, we check whether there's that $get the sent email, and if we receive that email, we assign it to $value, and through a search query we search for that email address and calculate how many rows are there with that email, which should be 1 probably. If we receive the answer as 1 for the $n, we come to this part and we generate new IDs, unique IDs using this function, and we assign it to $code, and using an update query we update the verification code as you saw when we refreshed the database, and we use that user's email address as the condition, as you can see. And furthermore, these are some codings for the emailing purposes. And I have here should be the sender's password and the sender's email address. Um, and here is that user's email address. And this the content related to the email. So this is what the user sees for the content of the email. If the emailing process is unsuccessful, the user get to see this, and if it's successful, it echoes this, and that response is received by the JavaScript over here, and this get executed, and this get executed when the emailing process is unsuccessful or when we don't enter an email address likewise. So when these get executed, we get to see this alert as you saw, and then we got to see that form where we can reset our password. We have made this an global variable as you can see, so we can access it in any function. And if we didn't make it an global variable, it probably will be destroyed after the session, the function is over. So that's why I made it a global variable. And so we get to see that reset form until we have successfully reset our password. So if we come to the index.php file once again, we get to see our module, which is the reset password form. So here's the button we clicked after inserting our data, the new password and the verification code. And at the top and at the upper part, you can see the initial text fields, the new password text field, and the retype password text field. So when we click show, we activate this function, and if we click this, we activate this function. So let's see the two functions, they are in the JavaScript. So here are those functions, they do the same thing, but we created two separate functions for them and gave separate IDs as well. And you might be wondering why is that done, as if we have provided the same function for both of them. If we click one of them, it occurs, or we get to see the animation of both of them at the same time, which we do not want actually. And that's why we have given two separate functions and separate IDs as well. And let's go to the JavaScript so we can see our functions of these two buttons. So here are the functions. So as you can see, the same thing is there, and only the function name and the IDs are different. So I will explain now. So as you can see, I have used two variables to access the text field and the button. And if the text field is password and the type of the text field is password, we get to see some dots. And if it is so, we change the type to text, so we get to see the text version of the password. We assign the in HTML of the button as height. Likewise, the same thing happen in else in the opposite way actually. If the text field is not password, it's being assigned to password, and the in HTML of the button becomes show. And same thing happens to the show password to function. Let's go to our index.php file once again. So if we consider about the reset button, it activates this function which is in the JavaScript once again. So here is the reset password function, and we have accessed the inserted there to that form the email address of the user, which is in the sign in form, and the new password and the retype new password and the verification code as they are valuable data, we don't send it in get method. We send it in post method using an AJAX request to reset password process.php file. So thereby we need a form. So using that form we append those data that we have accessed using the script.js file. So let's go to the reset password process.php file. So here we have used the connection.php file to maintain connection between the database, and it has all the required codings for the database connection. The received by the JavaScript is being assigned to the variables $email, $pw, $retype pw, $recode. And as you can see, these are some validations. So after all these validations become false, and eventually we will come to this point. So at this point we have updated our verification code successfully, and so that's why we search for a user or users with that email address and the verification code. And if we get the answer as one, that using an update query we update the password with the new password, and for the condition we use that user's email address. The resetting our password or updating our password, we echo success, and that response is received by the JavaScript. And when we receive that response, and that's why we get to see this alert. And after that, do not see the form, it gets disappeared, and that's why it get disappeared because of this line. And if we didn't get the um, response success, we get to see other responses. And that would be the end of the fifth episode of the e-commerce web application project. And I would really appreciate if you subscribe, like, and share. And thank you for stopping by, and once again thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Thank you.